Hi guys, welcome to the Chelsea Skidmore Show. I'm here today with my guest actor and comedian Jeff Garlin. Hi Jeff, how are you?
Hi Chelsea, I'm a big bowl of wonderful.
Wow, you
Yeah.
have good descriptions.
I do,
I've
I
noticed
guess.
that.
Yeah.
You have your own little language.
I do have my own little language, which can be confusing to others, but yeah.
Yeah. We were just talking about how you have a different personality that, well, I think that's...
Well, no, you said to me, is there anything that I shouldn't ask? And I said, no, you can ask anything.
Yes.
I'm exactly who you know, who you think am. I told her that she's not seen another side of me, but she has. And that's the only other side besides my sort of warm, you could say gregarious sometimes, especially when I'm on stage. But I get quiet, but it's not anybody else's fault. And what I was going to add to you is, if it is somebody else's fault, I'm very direct with how I'm feeling and how I feel that things aren't going right. So there is no me being a jerk, me being, I mean, I make mistakes. I'm an idiot, I'm sure at times, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have a really big personality. So obviously, like, I'm sure people, if you did take a moment to yourself and get quiet, I'm sure that would throw some people off.
By the way, it's not even some people. People who are close to me still get thrown by it.
Huh.
Yeah, because I just get quiet. I mean, I don't pout. It's not like quiet because I'm angry. I just get quiet. I maybe even slightly pensive, just thinking to myself, yeah.
What do you think about, Jeff?
All sorts of things. Could be anything, really.
Yeah.
Like, just wondering about stuff,
Do you get in your head a lot in general?
No, not a big get in my head. I don't get in my own way that way. I did when I was young.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But those days are long gone. God bless. Thank God. I don't have anxiety about the things that I did.
What did you used to have anxiety about?
You name it.
Yeah.
Just name women.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God. I mean, a particular woman can make me a bit off.
Who's that?
No, it's not.
No, what kind of type is that?
There's no type. It's
Okay.
just, if I'm involved with somebody, I can think about things. But no, I don't get in my head. I'm very present.
Yeah.
And also when you are in your head and you're planning and thinking about too much, that creates anxiety and stress. And I certainly don't want that.
Yeah, and I'd say that I think a lot of that also comes with like time and experience and
It's all about
success too.
But yeah, success is the least important of all my accolades, if you will. It's growth and learning, and then if you add what it is you do, and for us, we're comedians, it's just going on stage and not letting adversity, when you're not feeling funny, your groove is off, the audience stinks, just keep going night after night after night after night. That's, by the way, everyone always asks successful people, what's the key to success? Keep moving forward. That's the key to success. There is no,
that.
and by the way, friends of mine who are way more successful and some who are iconic, I've had the discussion with, and they would agree with me 100%, because there isn't a moment, oh, thank God I did that. Thank God I did that, So,
yeah, and you've been doing stand-up for a long time.
37 years.
Wow.
I started when I was 20. I'm 57.
Where did you start?
Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I moved there I was born in Chicago, moved to South Florida at 12, started comedy at 20, moved back to Chicago at 22.
Because you missed Chicago?
No,
or you wanted
Second
to be
City.
in that? Okay.
Second City and stand-up, yeah.
Did you go to Second City growing up before you were 12?
Nope, never.
Okay.
I only knew of Second City from reading articles about John Belushi or Bill Murray, and also watching something that came out of Second City, which is SCTV, with John Candy, Eugene Levy, Dave Thomas, Rick Moranis. Yeah, that was a big influence on me. I'd say Second City and Monty Python were two of the biggest influences on me.
When you moved at 12. That's a hard age to move.
Well, it's also a hard age to move. I moved from the Chicago suburbs, very warm, very inclusive, and then I moved to South Florida, where I was the first Jew that a lot of people met in
Really?
school. Yeah.
But there's so many
and I
there.
hadn't gone to school with black kids, of which I thought that was cool. But again, I was an outsider.
Yeah.
That's what, and also I was a big, strong kid, but I used my humor to not get in fights.
Is that something that you developed around the time that you moved to like fit in? Because
I was always funny, but
Okay.
yes, it definitely developed faster how funny I was and how quick I was because I had to defend myself. And if the other person's laughing, they're not beating me up. Or my assumption would be that they're beating me up, but I was bigger than a lot of these kids and stronger. I was a good athlete, but I just had an aversion to fighting.
Would you play what sports?
Football, baseball, track and field. I did shot put and discus, yeah.
Did you think you were going to do any of those in college?
I thought I would play football in college. I did, yes. I was so wrong.
And then you chose comedy instead?
No, I had a heart problem.
Okay.
My senior year in high school, a tachycardia thing, which I was one of the first people to ever have it corrected. It's called WPW, Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. And it's an extra pathway that causes tachycardia, rapid heartbeat. So I had to stop playing sports, and it didn't help me in comedy because when I would get nervous to go on, I would suddenly have rapid heartbeat. And it took 7 years before I had it corrected.
What did you have to do to calm yourself down?
Well, I was on a drug called Inderol, which was a thing that slowed your heart. And then I also developed a sense of calmness. But I was a wreck when I first started.
Really?
Although I didn't bomb, by the way. This is totally true. For about 2.5, 3 weeks. And then when I bombed for the first time, I thought the audience had made a terrible mistake. I told them, and it was a shock to my system. Because usually you bomb the first time. 2.5 weeks of no bombing. And then I bombed plenty.
And then you're like, I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I don't know what's your problem.
Yeah, exactly.
But like,
That was it. It was also because I was also the funniest kid in school, and everyone knew me as funny, and I knew I was funny. So therefore, I thought this is going to be easy. Little did I know. It would be joyful. It would be what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But it was not easy. It's not easy. Being a stand-up is hard.
So you started going up in Florida or Chicago? Sorry.
Florida. 1982.
And
20 years old.
Were you going to Mike's then, or was it just
in
clubs?
There was a club, the Comic Strip, which is in New York.
Oh, yeah.
They had one in Florida, and that was just where I went. Boom.
Okay.
And then there were other open mic nights around town I would go to, but I passed auditions at the Comic Strip right away. And boom. So every night I was going on after the out-of-town acts. There was one local act. That was Brian Regan.
Okay.
Who had passed auditions about a year before me. And he was like the MC or the local act. He'd go up first, then they'd have like 2 or 3 out-of-town acts. First time I ever went up, someone who plays here at the Comedy Store was one of the out-of-town acts, and that was Dom Herrera.
Oh.
I've known Dom since I'm 20 years old. I eventually worked up to being Dom's opening act on the road, you know. And we just were on a show together the other night. It's funny, we laugh about our past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else did you used to open for?
Let's see here. I opened for, I opened for lots of people. I worked at the Improvs a lot, and I was the opening act. You know who I was on the road a lot with was Judd Apatow. He and I were the opening acts for people you've never heard of.
Were you with him when he was doing a lot of documentary stuff?
Documentary stuff? I don't remember.
Well, he was doing the Gary Shandling document when he was much younger and opening for him around that time.
No. He hadn't even had anything to do with Gary Shandling when he and I worked together.
Okay.
We were really young comedians together on the road.
I can't figure out the time.
He was the MC. I was the middle act. And then you'd have somebody like this woman, I remember Diane Ford. I don't know. She might still be working today.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we'd be the opening acts for her. And we'd get treated like shit by most of these people.
Did you have thoughts you're going to be sorry?
No.
Or like, oh, no? Okay.
No, but I did have thoughts of, I'm going to be so much bigger than you.
Yeah.
You're not even going to know what hit you. But my revenge now,
Yeah.
okay, to this day, is I'm really nice to everyone who was mean to me. And they think they pulled one over on me.
Oh.
And they didn't. And I am so nice.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it takes no energy. It's delightful. I have no negativity with
Killing them with kindness.
Just being kind. I'm kind to everyone, pretty much.
Yeah, you are really nice.
Yeah,
Did someone teach you? Was that like something your mom kind of?
No, my mom.
you,
No. It's a life lesson you learn through the magic of experiencing life, through learning to be humble, through therapy. I mean, if you have a great therapist, through great friends. And my dad always taught me, don't believe the hype. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't think you're so hot.
Right.
And there were times in my life where I did. Much younger, you know. Yeah.
When was there a period in your life when you were younger, when you were cocky, and did someone
20s
call you out and be like, you need to calm down?
Well, actually, there's a funny story because I became who I am as a comedian today from the story I'm about to tell you. So in my 20s, as I told you, I did great when I first went on stage. I began to kill. I killed all the time. Very early on, I was killing. And it was like, I moved back to Chicago. And there's another comedian who I became friends with named Lou Schneider. Lou became a very successful comedian, but much more so, he was one of the producers of Everybody Loves Raymond, and he was one of the producers of the Goldbergs. Now he directs about half the Goldbergs episodes.
Oh, wow.
He's one of my best friends. He's like a brother. But we fought over the years, and how he put up with me looking back on it, it's more, I mean, I don't want to give him a free pass. He's a pain in the ass, but I'm much more of a pain in the ass, especially when we were young, how he dealt with my ego and who I was, and also my attention deficit disorder and all this stuff, who his parents, by the way, who were social workers, diagnosed.
Really?
Yep. They said, have you ever heard of this? But Lou's been there's certain people in your life, he's been a life-changing person in my life. And I love him. He's so dear to me. And he has put up with so much crap from me. It's hilarious. We laugh every day about it because especially when he was producing, which was through last season, he was the on-set producer, so I'm with him every day. But here's what happened. So we became friends, and we're on the same bill at the Comedy Womb, swear to God, WMB, on Lions in Chicago. And I did my set. I destroy. I think I'm such hot shit. I walk up to Lou and I go, well, what'd you think? He goes, I noticed you record. Do you ever listen to your act? And I said, truthfully, I don't. Realizing now, ironically, that it was his parents that would point out, the reason you don't listen is because you have ADD and you can't focus.
Wow.
But that's ironic that I'm thinking about that now. I said, no. He goes, why don't you listen to the tape and then we'll talk about it? I said, okay. Well, I listened to the tape, and for the first time, I really heard myself. My act was about TV and sex and just the stupidest shit that didn't matter. It didn't matter. It was so just about, the only reason I was killing was because I was funny, but the things I was saying were just, they appealed to it's just so dumb.
Surface.
It was just, there was nothing to it except for being, it was a little bit silly. The silly stuff I actually look back on fondly. No, it was just bad, cheap. It was hack. Okay. And then I went, oh my God, no. I call up Lou. He goes,
you knew it.
I heard. I listened to it.
And
it was the first time I really heard
How did
myself.
you think of it differently then because he got in your head about
No,
something you had to, were you like, I had to
never.
listen for something, or were you just like...
No. He just told me generally to listen. Listening. Like, listening is the key to all of it. All of it. Life. Forget comedy and acting and doing a podcast. Life. Listening. So I just listened to him say, hey, listen to it. And then I listened to it. And I was like, I stink. I suck. This is embarrassing. because I also thought other acts were hacks and back then.
Yeah.
So I call him up and I go, "Oh, thank you. I listened." He goes, "You did?" I go, "Yeah. It's the worst thing ever. I'm throwing it all out and starting fresh tonight." He goes, "No, I didn't mean for you to throw it all out." I go, "No, it's all gone." That night, I went on stage and I only talked about what mattered to me. And I like to refer to it as this. Thus began my festival of bombing. I bombed about year 4 or 5 of doing stand-up almost every night for at least a year.
Wow.
Ate it. But, my personality and the people who ran the clubs, and God bless Zanies even more than any other place, because I became the house MC middle act there. They all saw something in me. They knew I was funny, and they're like, "We're not going to stop giving him spots," because I was trying, It was just, I took risks, and it was glorious. I look back on a year of bombing, even more so, fondly, if you can believe it. And that's why I tell, whenever anyone opens for me, do you know what I say to them? I swear, I say, "Go up and eat it. Have a good time eating it, because you're safe with me. You're completely safe. You'll still open for me again. If you go up and you don't take risks and you eat it, I don't know that you'll open for me again. But if you go up on stage and do your best and you eat it, I could give a flying fuck. You're safe with me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever do anything to cheer yourself up or have any sort of like rituals after you bombed to make yourself feel better?
Nope.
One of my friends got a haircut. He bombed so hard. We thought that was so funny.
By the way, that's hilarious.
I know.
That's beautiful, because that really is cutting off. Oh, really? That really is cutting off.
Ritual. Yeah.
You have to tell me who, but that's beautiful. I love that. Well, I got to tell you, sometimes it takes extreme measures like that to recover, because emotionally, especially when you're a young comedian, that's some tough shit. I'm saying it like it's easy. It's not easy. No. What I enjoyed was other comedians.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching comedy at home. I enjoyed playing sports. I mean, I really tried to get myself involved in other things to take my mind off it. And I was at a point then where there was no recovery to feel better until I did my next set. So imagine how I felt day after day, not having that one good set.
Yeah, were you like, I don't know if this is what I should be doing, or you stayed in it?
I had full confidence. I knew I was funny.
How did you keep your confidence, though?
I don't know. That, to me, here's what perseverance really is.
Yeah.
And adversity in comedy. It's not going crazy when you're eating it, and not going crazy when no one gives a shit about you. Now, I've got my special coming out on Netflix. It's thank you, on not January, it's supposed to be January, November 12th. Okay, November 12th. And
first one?
No, I did. No, actually, this is by the way, no one knows this, and for whatever reason, it's not on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I did the very first ever Netflix streaming special.
Oh.
The first special ever was Zach Galifianakis live from the Purple Onion, which was available on DVD. Mine was available on DVD, but also it was the first one ever to stream. And no one knows this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's called Young and Handsome.
Okay.
Yeah.
But was that one all improv too?
No, that was bits. It actually, there were a lot of technical things going on. So Bob Odenkirk directed it.
Lovely.
And we kind of, we didn't like the special, but we liked individual pieces that I did in the special. So we sort of did like change the order and had little intro things. It's good.
Stuff. Yeah.
It's good. Some of it, I really, it's really good, but it's not, my dream, but it's the first one ever streamed on Netflix.
Wow.
So I worked 3 years to develop material for this current special. And I had a point about bringing up the special. What were we talking about right before I said
perseverance?
Oh, perseverance.
Perseverance.
And rising above adversity. Yes, because this ties into this. So here I am.
Listening.
Okay, yes. But I'm a man of accomplishment. I've made I'm on the number one family TV series in America, the Goldbergs, and the number one cable. I'm not series, but comedy.
Yeah.
And I might be on one of the most. I am on an iconic show, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Obsessed.
Okay. I made a documentary movie. That was nominated for an Academy Award.
Is that the John Waters?
No, Finding Vivian Mayer.
Oh, okay.
John Waters was one of the first movies ever made for Netflix that I filmed.
Really?
Of John Waters' one-man show. I directed that. Here's the thing. A lot of accomplishment. I could list a whole bunch of things. Most proud of my part as the captain in Wall-E, Pixar, Academy Award-winning movie. Okay, all good. All right. There are times where at 57 years old, having done this for 37 years, that I feel I'm ignored and overlooked. Okay? Mm-hmm. And I feel like, nobody gives a shit about me. Not in terms of feeling bad for me, but in that way, you know what I mean? And so I did this special, and I'm so proud of the special. And it captured lightning in a bottle that I hope that I'm kind of reconsidered by the comedy world. I'm respected, and I'm certainly looked at as successful, but I truly, even at my level, I feel that there's a sense of me having to get over something. You know what I mean? So when I say anyone to get over the adversity and all the stuff that comes your way, the two things are, A, bombing as you're developing, very difficult. Keep your eye on the prize. But the bigger one is when no one gives a shit about you, don't go crazy. And guess what? You can be at my level and no one's giving shit about you.
It never ends, I feel like.
It never ends. Like Comedy Central do the top 100 comedians. Am I mentioned?
Yeah.
You know
I've never, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm saying, this is a few years ago. So-and-so will have, like, GQ will do a comedy issue. Am I in it? Like, but by the way, I don't get bitter. I don't get angry, whatever. I'm just saying.
Does it hurt at first and then you have to talk to yourself about it and make yourself feel better, please?
Not stuff like that. No, that doesn't hurt at all. It hurts zero. I'm really happy with what I get. I want to be
you when I grow up.
Oh, by the way, I want to be me when I grow up, too. I'm aspiring to be fully me and grow and grow and grow. You are an excellent person.
Thank you.
I always liked you. Like, you know, we were acquaintances. But as I've become friends with you, you're a woman of substance. You're something special.
Thank you.
I'm a fan of yours as a person, you know. And I've offered anytime you want for me to come see you do stand-up and talk with you about it.
Yeah.
You know?
I heard you talking about, well, first of all, I feel like
Jon Stewart and Dennis Leary. I helped develop Lock and Load for Dennis Leary and Unleavened for Jon Stewart.
So during that time when you directed those, were you, how did they choose you to direct
because
it? Were you
I was even though I wasn't famous in any way, they were great friends of mine. And I, amongst comedians of my era, i.e. Dennis Leary, Jon Stewart, and others, I was respected, like the comedian whisperer almost. And so they're like, oh, I gotta, you know, and it was a good way to make money. I'd go on the road with them and open for them. Yeah. Then they do their sets. Then we go back to the hotel and talk about it. It was, and also was a good credit working with HBO and all that. But also at that time, which people don't know about me because they wouldn't know, I had more development deals than you could imagine with all the networks. You know, ABC, we'll pay you $50,000 to develop a show with you. We'll pay you $100. I think the most I got was $170 for one of them. But then what also happens is, if they pay you a lot and nothing happens, you price yourself out of the market. Yeah.
How many things have you developed when you were starting out that never came to be?
Starting out, I can't say, but as I got to be a known commodity, like after, let's say, doing it for 10 years or so, or 8 years, at least a half dozen.
And does that annoy you when there's something that you
No,
really liked and you're like, this
let's
isn't
talk
going to
about
see
this.
the light of day?
Here's the thing that's about it will be what it's supposed to be. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
So one of these shows I got to deal with while I'm directing. I don't remember whose show. No, I was a recurring role on Mad About You. Okay, I was on every 4 episodes, 5 episodes. I played Marvin, guy who worked in the sporting store. It was a huge break. And that one, by the way, I'll just tell this story quickly. I had decided that I wasn't going to do any more same-day auditions. The morning after I decide that, I get a call for a same-day auditions. My agent says, I promise it's the last. I go in, I audition for Mad About You. That night, I hear that I got it, but the part has been dropped down to 1 line. And I thought, you know what? I got nothing else going on. What the fuck? I go in, we do the thing. I get such a big laugh in rehearsal on my 1 line. They write a whole thing for me. Next thing you know, I'm on the show for 3 years.
Wow.
So you just got to be humble with this stuff. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. I was hired by CBS to write and star in a companion show for Everybody Loves Raymond. Okay? Look at that, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I'm teamed up with a guy named Alan Zweibel. Alan Zweibel, who co-created its Gary Shandling show, the first Gary Shandling show. He also wrote most of Gilda Radner's stuff on the old Saturday Night Live. He's a funny, funny man and a delightful man to spend time with, and I learned a lot from him. So we're in a suite of offices writing the show. In the office was Billy Crystal at the height of his fame, and Larry David, who had just made Sour Grapes, this movie.
Yeah, I saw it.
That didn't do well. And the Seinfeld last episode that wasn't well received.
The jail one with the Green Day song.
Yeah. So he's thinking, what am I doing next? Okay.
Yeah.
So I knew both Billy and Larry. I'd go in their offices and talk to them, and I'd write with Alan. And I went into Larry's office all the time, and we'd sit and talk. And we both had little kids, and I remember our kids were watching Shirley Temple.
I used to watch Shirley Temple.
And we used to sing the Codfish Bowl and all these songs to each other, Larry and I. So one day he says, you want to go to lunch? I go, yeah, I'll go to lunch. And we asked Alan if he wanted to go. He didn't want to go. Larry and I go. It's no longer there. It was a Kookaroo on Beverly Boulevard in Beverly.
What is a Kookaroo?
A Kookaroo. Do they not have Kookaroos anymore? They're like chicken places.
Oh, okay.
Are they all out of business?
I've never heard of one
It
before.
was so popular.
Really?
Oh, my God. I mean, it was like everyone went to Kookaroo to get chicken. It was like, the good chicken you get,
No,
chicken.
I don't know.
Well, no, like, like what's the chicken place where the murder happened?
Like
ChickfilA? Well, yeah, by the way, not ChickfilA is quite tastier than anything.
Okay.
What's the one?
Like a fried chicken place?
No.
Like a KFC?
No.
Okay.
A roasted chicken place.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really good quality chicken.
Okay.
Anyhow, that's so not. What are you doing to me?
I'm just interested.
Okay, I know. But by the way, good. Okay.
Curious.
Okay. Which is good. All right, so
you're at the Kookaroo.
I'm at the Kookaroo with him, and he starts asking me about stand-up comedy, what's going on. And I said to him, he goes, HBO has been talking to me about doing something. I said, well, if you ever want to do a special, I've got the perfect idea for a special, which ended up being Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Really?
That day in the Kookaroo across from Nate and Al's on Beverly, I told him an idea. He goes, let me go talk to my wife. Let me think about it. And then we went later that week to go pitch it to HBO with Ari Emanuel, his agent, with Chris Albrecht. And Chris Albrecht said the words that you only want to hear when you pitch something. He said, how can I not do this?
Wow.
And it was supposed to be a special.
So what was the idea for the special?
The special was, because I had, as I mentioned, worked with Jon Stewart and Dennis Leary developing theirs. What if you did a special that's about the developing of the special?
Okay.
And you never have to show the special, but you show behind the scenes.
I love that.
Yeah. So there you go. And I told this idea to a genius.
Yeah.
Larry David, who ran with it. He ran with my idea. And it was his idea that I play his manager. I just wanted to direct it. He goes, no, you'll be a producer and you're going to play my manager. Changed my life.
Wow. So
and what was beautiful about it was it just shows take work, do things. Here I am developing a show for CBS that leads to HBO and Curb Your Enthusiasm. And they didn't pick my show. You know what show they picked? One called King of Queens.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everything is sort of meant. It's kind of like, you know, I'm not religious, but I believe in God. And God to me is the universe, like the all-encompassing. Because I have to be humble and there has to be something bigger than me. And everything sort of works out for a reason, you know? And so I have a great spiritual belief in that. I'm a Jew, but I'm not necessarily religious as a Jew, but I do believe in God.
Yeah, higher power.
Higher power, yeah. It's, you know, and I'm an addict. Sugar is my thing, and I approach it like an addict, and I have to believe something else is bigger than me. Yeah.
So what was that first episode? Can you call it an episode?
It wasn't. It was an hour. It was only meant to be an hour special. When we were filming the hour special, first day at HBO, by the way, it was a scene where we're going to pitch the idea. Larry said to me, "Oh, wouldn't this be great to do as a TV series?" And I'm thinking, yeah, right. I'm going to be in a TV series with Larry David. Oh, I bet that'll happen. And of course I said yes, but I'm thinking, really? And
why? Because at the time he was more behind the scenes?
No, because it was just, first off, he was iconic.
Okay.
He'd been on camera on a show called Fridays.
Okay.
And he created one of the greatest sitcoms of all time, Seinfeld.
Yeah.
So for him to say to me that his next series we're going to do together, I'm excuse me for
okay. It's like too incredible and you're like, okay, yeah, I'd love to, great.
Yeah, I'm not believing the hype.
Right.
I'm not going home that night going, I have a show with Larry David.
Yeah.
Let's just make this hour thing hilarious.
Yeah.
And there was a vibe between Larry and I, we'll tell you this, as if we'd worked together our whole lives.
Wow.
In terms of chemistry.
Again, you have great chemistry.
Again, you can't. From the beginning, we had that.
So was that written or was it beat it out? I'm sure that's like the number one question about the show.
It's not beat it out. And it's not, it is written.
Okay.
But they're written in like paragraphs, the entire scene of what has to happen in the scene, what the story is. And so it's not beat it out because it's not a beat sheet. So there'll be the story's like 7 pages, the whole episode, and each scene has a paragraph or two.
Is this now we're talking about in general with the show or that one's? Because I guess let's talk about in general.
All of it.
So 7 pages covers a 30-minute episode?
Yes.
Okay.
It could be 8 pages, could be 6 pages.
Okay.
But I'm saying, yeah, it's all there.
Yeah, walk me through how it.
And then we'll shoot the scene from different angles, what have you. Say something again if we need to hear it. But we adapt every take. We go, okay, what didn't work that time? What works this time? Maybe we try this. But I generally, unless I'm told otherwise, try doing something kind of different every time. You know, that's just my own approach, you know. But it's just about staying present, and you don't try and be funny. You try and be funny, you're kicked off our show. Trust me. You just, because it's like, I once met Neil Simon, and he told me when an actor or an actress comes in and auditions for him and they try and be funny, he writes them off already.
Yeah.
Because the material's funny. You just got to be real. You got to be present. You know? And that's where the gift of being funny comes in. Because either you are funny or you're not. You can't put a funny spin on things. If you're funny, it's going to be funnier if you play it real. And if you're not funny, it'll at least be funny and good if you play it real. That's why anyone who's doing comedy, don't try and do comedy.
Right.
You know, just try and play it real. And whatever the truth is will come out about your skill level.
Yeah. I have to go back to the Curb. So
anything, I'm good.
Is there like a general thing that it was like, okay, every episode we're going to find a way to be mad at Larry?
No.
But is there like that general theme? Like One of my favorite episodes is Ben Stiller's birthday.
Yes, with the fork and the skewer in the eye. Yeah.
So that's all written out. So then so it's like, okay, we're going to do like Ben Stiller's birthday scene. We're going to find like he's going to have a skewer. Like, do you guys find
I wish
those
I had
things?
it so organized in my phone because I have all the scripts in my phone, but they're not organized. And I'd go right to that one scene.
Yeah.
No, the scene will describe what Ben's party's like, that Ben said no presents, which is a key part of it, and that Larry will skewer him in the eye by accident or whatever it is. That whole story is described there.
Okay.
Now, how that plays out, we adapt, we move around. But generally, it's pretty close. Most of the scenes we don't have to make many changes, and there's no dialogue in the script.
Okay. It's just like the idea per scene.
Yep. But it's very well described.
Yeah. Does it take longer? When you're improvising, do you guys have a lot more time?
If Larry, David, and I are doing a scene alone,
yeah,
we can be in and out of there in 35 minutes, a half hour. If there's 3 people, more time. It just depends on the people and where it takes place. It's not anything else.
So how can you plan a production schedule? Like
because we know the scene that takes place at Ben's house.
Yeah.
We get that house through our that location, and we know we're going to shoot that scene. You can look at the paragraph and go, and how many people, how long it'll take, also where the location is located. Yeah, you can easily put it together. What we do in general, we haven't been able to do it lately because I've been doing the Goldbergs, and so Goldberg's is in first position because when Curb sort of was questioning, I took Goldberg's, but only if I could continue to do Curb.
Was that in your?
Yes, it was in my contract. It still is in my contract.
And we thank you for that.
Well, thank the good people at ABC and Sony, because they allowed it.
Yeah.
Because I guess because their lawyers are fans of the show and they don't want to see the show end.
Oh.
Whenever I'm available, I'm at Curb, so we have to shoot a lot of it out of order. But we used to shoot it all in order.
And
we try to do that, but we still work within the confines of what works best.
That's nice
for production.
Because stuff isn't normally ever really like that. I've heard that some directors, when they shoot with kids, they like to do things in order for them.
I have no idea, even though I've been in like daddy daycare. And
I can't
crap.
think of. Oh yeah, so I had some questions.
I think that's not helpful. I mean, directing kids. Now I've directed kids in a couple movies I've made. I directed Elle Fanning. She was like in.
Oh really?
She was in Daddy Daycare with me. She was my favorite. I love her and her family, and I put her in the next movie that I made, and she was easy for me because you talk to a kid with respect and joy. And all you have to do is tap into their imagination about what's happening in that scene. You don't have to do it in order. They don't even pay attention to what the movie's about. They don't know. I don't understand that logic. All right, there you go.
I have a couple of questions I asked Facebook and Instagram if you have any questions for you. Okay, one is from Skylar. What's the most annoying incident of someone citing you?
Oh, well...
I guess the most annoying.
I guess the difficult thing is when they're like if I'm at the farmer's market and they're really loud, I try and get them to be a little quieter so no one else will notice. But I'm nice to everyone, and I'm honored that anyone stopped me. They're really, I got to tell you, twice in my time being successful has someone irritated me. One, I was dealing with fraud on my credit card on the phone on the street in New York, and some guy came up and wanted to talk to me, and I told him I couldn't, and he told me to go fuck myself. And I looked at him and I said, and I wasn't mean to him, and I said, hey man, I've got fraud on my credit card. I'm terribly sorry. I'd love to meet you. And he became completely present. He goes, oh, I'm sorry. That was really rude of me. And he went on his way.
Oh.
Okay. The other one wasn't as good. I was in this will tell you, I was in I forgot the name of the bookstore, and I'm with my kids. And at the time, one was 3 and one was 1, or 4 and 1. And I'm holding one, and they're both crying, and it was bad.
Yeah.
And some guy wanted to engage me. I'm like, hey, man, I got other priorities. And he wasn't offended or rude, but he just kept talking to me.
Yeah, that's annoying.
So there you go. There's an example. But in general, I'm honored that anyone would come up to me and want to talk to me or take a picture. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we did the comedy inspirations.
We did?
We did Monty Python and...
Oh, yeah, but stand-up wise, Richard Pryor and Jack Benny. And then I'm also inspired by any of my peers that I dig, and I think they're great. You know, I get inspired by other comedians, you know. I love laughing at comedians. I root for other comedians.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gavin asks, when you were the donut guy in RoboCop 3, were you actually eating a donut in that scene?
It's funny he asked that because that's in my special. I tell the story about being the donut guy in RoboCop 3, and without giving too much away, I had that night because I had an eating problem.
Okay.
And we were filming, and the donuts were fresh, and they had 1 million of them. And I thought, I'll get away with it. I'm the donut guy. I'm going to be the donut guy that eats donuts. We filmed all night long. This is completely true. I had 36 donuts.
Were you sick to
your stomach? Yes, but that's the whole story. You got to hear the story. Watch the special.
Oh, my God.
November 12th.
Was that the last day you had sugar?
No. I had sugar many times after that.
Yeah.
I wish. I wouldn't have diabetes at this point if I had stopped then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I only knew now what I knew then.
Yeah.
I mean, knew then what I know now. Yeah.
Okay, next question. While playing Murray Goldberg, how did you prepare yourself for the role? And there's a lot of footage of the real Murray Goldberg. Did you go through all of it or add anything to the character?
Okay, a couple thoughts. Number one, Murray Goldberg is the only person on the show. Oh, I guess the grandfather too, but Murray Goldberg is not alive. He was never alive when we made the show. The only footage I saw of Murray Goldberg there was footage that you guys see on the show that I saw, like a tape, to see what the show was about when I was considering it. And then I play Murray Goldberg, nothing like Murray Goldberg, although Adam Goldberg had said, you remind me of my dad. Mm-hmm. But I am so not like that character. I just play a curmudgeon-y gruff. I would never call my children a moron. And I kiss and hug and love my children. Not that Murray didn't love his children. He did. But there is no Murray Goldberg by my choice in my portrayal of Murray Goldberg. I sort of fixed him up with a little bit of this and that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is from Tommy, who used to work here.
Tommy! Okay, he listens to your show.
The old talent coordinator on Facebook.
No, Tommy was always lovely to me.
He asked why you feel the original room is the most important comedy stage in the world. He said,
well, I've told...
You guys talked about it.
No, he knows I love the original room.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like the main room.
Yeah.
Main room for me, which is the room that most people are like, oh, get me in the main room. The main room. It's big. It's kind of like a Vegas showroom. Don't enjoy it. The belly room, very intimate, very delightful. But if you want to prove yourself in comedy, the best room and the most difficult room until you master it, and you never really master it because it can be difficult, is the original room. Having done comedy since 1982, it's one of the only rooms in the world that it feels like I'm going into a time machine, back in time to it looked this way in 1982, but it's real. You earn everything that goes on in that room. It is earned, and it is real. And the audience is such a mixture of hipsters, tourists, young, old. It is really the most real audience and the most real vibe in a room, and the darkness of it. It's to me, if you can't play that room, you ain't shit. Mm-hmm. That's all. And it's turned out over the years. I had difficulty with it for, I'd say, a couple months, trying to, and then it got easier and easier. And now if I'm playing the original room, it's nothing but joy for me. The downside for me, and I have trouble with now, is doing 15-minute sets.
Mm-hmm.
Like I generally do an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I play, like I do a show at the Improv. I've done shows here in the Belly Room for an hour. I do shows at Flappers. And then like when I'm on the road, I do an hour. Because I improvise so much, 15 minutes, I'm just getting started. I haven't even gotten my groove yet. And so I need 45 at least to really feel a sense of accomplishment. Now, I'm filming either Curb, the Goldberg's a movie. I'm developing this and that. So for me to get in my car and come here for 15 minutes, the only reason would be is because it's what I do and I need the joy. Yeah. Not the therapy, the
instant
joy.
gratification.
Well, no, I need to play my horn. Or you know what I mean? I need to do it. I haven't done it. Or I'm working on a bit for maybe something. But outside of those two, I have that's the problem. So I've played like in the past year the Original Room maybe a dozen times in the past year.
Yeah.
Which for me, I'm a guy who when I'm developing material, I'm up there every night.
I love the French song you do.
Well, yeah, I just J'en sais l'entendu. J'en sais l'entendu. Yeah. It's French gibberish. Yeah.
That's so true. Okay. And last question from Facebook, from a niece, someone I went to high school with.
I did. You went to high school with.
Yeah.
Be weird if I went to high school with them and they listened to your show. Go ahead.
What advice do you have for writers without a ton of connections who want to break through in the industry?
Well, I have a couple of things. Number one, the most important thing is no matter what, nobody's calling your name. No one gives a shit about you. What do you do every day? Write. Write from 9 to 12. Write from 9 to 10. Write from midnight to 2. Whenever you can get in an hour or two, every day, write. When you have something that you think is worthwhile, well, go through... there's so many filmmaking magazines. There's things, and also submit it to different agencies. There's screenwriting contests. Do anything you can to have it seen. But the priority you should put on is not getting it out there, but writing and becoming a great writer, because everything will take care of itself. And the other thing is, write something that you can make. I mean, holy crap, the new iPhone. You know, supposedly the camera is great, but even like 5 models ago, they made the movie Tangerine, which is a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It's a great movie, shot on an iPhone.
Wow.
Steven Soderbergh shot an entire movie for Netflix on an iPhone.
Rich.
So it was one about, I didn't see it's about a basketball agent. Oh. It was recent. It was like in the past couple of years. Point being is, do even a scene from your movie. Put it up online or show it to your friends. The more you work and the more you open yourself up, the more opportunities you'll get. There is no secret way to get it to be seen. And by the way, Chelsea, you ever write a script? I'd love to read it.
I've written plenty.
Okay, if you ever want me to read and talk about it with you, I'm happy to. Unfortunately for your friend who just wrote in, I will not read anything.
Sorry.
No. Because I'm busy enough with my own career that my friends, I always stick a hand out to help. I always want. That's why I said, I'll come, even if I'm not doing a set, and you say, what are you doing tonight? Can you watch my set? I'll come here and watch your set and talk with you.
Okay.
That's worthwhile. I love giving. I love helping. But I've got enough with my friends and coworkers that I don't have time to help strangers, except with words of encouragement.
Love that.
And I hope that what I just said to her about how you go about it, is encouraging.
Yeah, I think
because really, if you believe in yourself as a writer, fucking write. That's the most important every day. Then secondarily, when you have something, the 5th script you've written, that you go, this is my script, then do anything you can. Like I said, there's lots of different ways. Yeah.
And what do you do? Because I think we have to wrap up at 1, right?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So last question then. What do you do to decompress, to unwind when you're at home from a long day of work?
Okay, a few things.
Hanging out with people.
Okay, so I have numerous ways. Number one, my dog on the Goldbergs, whose name is I don't remember the dog's name on the show. I sometimes can't remember my kids' names, but her real name is Sage. And as of 3 weeks ago, she's my dog. She's still doing the show. She's this little white cockapoo.
Okay.
And she's my dream. And I come home and I pet her, turn on the TV, kiss her, talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
And so she chills me. I love napping. I do transcendental meditation. I read. I write, I play guitar, I do photography. I'm like, and I have great friends. People come over, and I do smoke some indica, to chill. I don't do sativa. I don't need to turn my mind on. I need to turn it down, slow it down. So and by the way, I aspire to be a chill dude.
Yeah, you're very chill. What do you turn to comfort yourself? Because you don't have sugar anymore.
Right. Oh, that's not.
So what did you replace that comfort with?
When I'm at my worst, I'm spending too much money.
Okay.
But in general, there is no replacing that comfort.
What are you spending money on?
Guitars, cameras, comic books, baseball cards, friends.
Yeah.
I remember
I was hoping you'd say shopping and skincare.
Well, by the way, yes, I love creams and lotions. No, but remember how I was like, all right, so what are we going to do about you and a camera? Remember you're talking about you and I?
Yeah.
All I was thinking was what camera I'm going to buy you.
No,
but that's where my head's at. But in terms of, that's something negative, even if it's negative, I even enjoy buying for other people. But in general, no, there is no replacing food. I have to be good with myself. The secret to it is, okay, time alone, guess what I have to do? Sit with my feelings. So I don't get an ice cream cone. I got to sit with my feelings. The ice cream cone, which is delightful, don't get me wrong, is bad for me physically.
Yeah.
And emotionally, it doesn't fill me anymore. So I have to just sit with my fucking feelings.
Do you journal?
No, I don't get into any of that.
No.
I don't journal. I should maybe.
Yeah.
I could. There's no should. But I put all the adventures and all the feelings I have into my work, so I use it all, for other people's maybe comfort and joy,
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jeff, so much for coming on.
I've been wanting to do your show. I'm honored because I wrote you and said I want to come on your show.
And I love that.
I want people to know that. She didn't.
Thank you. Jeff asked me.
She didn't track me. She didn't say please, please, please. No, I asked her.
I like that.
Please. Yeah.
Thank you. And remind us again.
And I love your husband.
Yes.
No, I fucking love him.
Yes.
No, he's a fucking doll.
He likes you too.
That's cool. But I just think you guys are hilarious together.
Thank you.
And wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's always when you meet either a great person, man or woman, that their significant other is a rocker. Because we've all experienced when the significant other is like, oh,
it's are they coming?
Or it can ruin, like, let's say you and I were great friends, and then you married him and I didn't really like him. That would put a big dent.
Yeah.
Like my friend Heather, who's getting married.
Yeah.
Well, I love her fiance. Like, it makes my friendship with her better. You know what I mean? Oh, I love it. So I love your husband.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then when's your special coming out again?
November 12th.
Oh, coming up.
November 12th. And look, if you dig me, I think you'll dig it. If you're not sure, I hope you dig it. But here's what I did. I captured who I am in that special. You watch that special, that's how I do stand-up, and that's who I am as a person.
That's the dream.
So it's the dream. It's what I aspired to, and the fact that I hit it, great. So success beyond that is out of my control. I'm just hopeful, and I'm doing what I can to promote it when I do,
I love it. Well, thank you so much again, and thank you guys for listening. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. Thank you. Bye.
You're fantastic.
Thank you.
At this. No, you're fantastic at this.
Oh, thank you.
You really are.
Thank
wow,
you.
you're good. This is you've really developed nicely.
Thank you. And then can we do like a pick out here real quick?
Yeah, of course, sister. Can I just leave this?
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Sure.
That's
Wow, that was
Okay.
joyful. And by the way, I'm happy to do it again in 6 months.